I'm Amanda Sterling, Research Analyst at McLean Company. Today I'll be giving you a review of our 3 steps to hiring decision success. Based on our experiences and review of research on making hiring decisions, these 3 steps will guide you through the practices to improve the quality of the hiring decisions you make. The steps are 1. Gather the right people, 2. Collect and combine data, and 3. Make the decision. Gather the right people means involving more than just the hiring manager in the hiring decision. In our research, we found that using a team of people who have knowledge of job requirements and are aware of biases and legal issues that can impact decision making have the most impact on the success of hiring decisions. Why? Well, this is because different people can provide different perspectives on a candidate, and this can inform the decision. However, people can also be the largest source of error in the decision due to things like biases, subjectivity, or lack of knowledge about the position. So getting the right people involved who know about the job is crucial for improving the success of hiring decisions. But there are a few things to keep in mind to ensure that involving others is a blessing, not a burden. First, keep decision makers to a minimum. More is not always better in this case. You don't want to involve the whole department. Just involve some of the people who will regularly interact with the new hire and add value to the decision making. The hiring manager is essential. In addition to the hiring manager, include HR and a peer or self-report. This is the ideal mix for most positions. You'll want more people involved, such as more peers or self-reports, other managers and executives when it's a more senior level position that you're hiring for. But again, you don't want to involve the whole company. Second, the roles of those involved in hiring should be clearly defined. The hiring manager owns the process and is ultimately responsible for the final decision. Everyone else involved will give input, and getting this input from them is crucial, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the hiring manager. HR, in addition to giving input, will play the role of moderator and advisor and serve to keep the decision team on track and as objective as possible. HR, along with peers and self-reports and anyone else involved, can act as a sounding board for the hiring manager's logic and also provide input and feedback about candidates that are in the running. Finally, anyone involved in making hiring decisions must know what is required in the job opening. They should also bring other hiring-related expertise to the table, such as knowledge of biases and also knowledge of anything that can impact hiring decisions. But knowing about the job is the most crucial thing. So once the hiring team is gathered, all the candidate data should be collected together, and thought should be put into how all this data will be combined or integrated to give a holistic view and overall evaluation of candidates. This means first gathering all the data from all the candidate assessments and getting feedback from each person who met with the candidates. This will ensure the hiring team gets information from multiple sources, and this will help inform the final evaluation of candidates. The profile of the ideal candidate should also be defined and clearly articulated so the decision-making team is on the same page. This is more than just a job description. It defines all the characteristics and attributes of an ideal candidate, not just what the candidate will do. Second, compile the data and the definition of the ideal candidate in an easily accessible location. You want all decision team members to be able to find it so they can know what to look for in candidates and refer to it throughout the process as needed. Finally, after all the data is collected, it needs to be combined in some way you need to make a final evaluation, and it's hard to consider 2, 3, or more different sources of information when you're making that decision. So thinking about how best to combine the data to arrive at an overall final assessment will make the decision easier to make and makes it easier to compare and contrast candidates. The hiring team should review the available decision-making models, such as a multiple regression or a multiple cutoff model, and determine which one will arrive at a candidate who meets the job requirements and will be successful at the job. There needs to be some thought into how to integrate the data, since different approaches will result in different outcomes. The final step of the process is to pick the candidate to hire or make the decision. The decision step is all about discussion, as the team will need to sit down and critically evaluate which candidate or candidates to hire, depending on the number of job openings they're trying to fill. When trying to arrive at the final decision, there are a few things to help the process go smoother. First, the ideal candidate profile is the decision team's friend because it tells you what the candidate should look like. Keep it handy throughout the decision process to validate opinions and reconcile differences. If in doubt, go back to the job requirements. Second, be objective, then subjective. So first, objectively evaluate whether candidates can do the job before getting into assessments of fit and overall impressions of the candidates. If you get subjective too early, you could hire based on fit and overlook concerns about a candidate's ability to even do the job. Third, the decision doesn't just have to be hire, don't hire. It can be seek more information if there are nagging concerns or gaps that need to be addressed to make a more informed decision. It's also fine to not hire anybody if all the candidates are found lacking for some reason when the team sits down to make the decision. Something maybe the job has changed, or maybe the company needs for the position have changed, so you don't need to hire somebody if it's not a right fit. However, don't get caught up in finding the perfect candidate because you'll be looking forever. Make the decision with what you've got. So those are the 3 steps to hiring decision success. Thanks for joining me, and I hope the key takeaways from our 3 steps will help you hire smart so you don't have to manage tough.